I saw it. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. I've just come in. I've had 2 hours sleep coming off the back of the Australian Distillers Conference. So I'm firing on vapors. Let's just say I'm firing on vapors. So
and yet you are still loud as a fucking
sorry.
foghorn.
Tone it down.
Holy Jesus shit. I'm still deaf. I'm still deaf from chatting with Ed 2 weeks ago. And now here we are again. My right ear is going to be bleeding by the end of the fucking night.
Let's turn the dials down. All right. Okay. All right. Let's start again. Take 2. Right.
Oh my God.
Good evening, everybody. It's Crafty from Craftworks. No, it's not. It's Craftworks from Aussie Craft Distillers shooting the shit.
Craftworks from Aussie Craft Distillers.
Yeah. And Craftworks Distillery. Hello, Tennille. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm getting there slowly, real slow. All right. So let's kick it off, guys. Tonight we've got a really good one. We've got a really good one because we've got 2 things that we're going to be talking about specifically. We're going to be talking about the bar environment, so on premise and Australian craft spirits. And we're also going to be talking about festivals. And we're very fortunate that we've got Tennille and Rob, aka Bondi, all the way from Dubbo. So from the Establishment Bar and the Dubbo Winter Whisky Festival. Round of applause, and also sponsors of Aussie Craft Distillers shooting the shit.
How you doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for having us.
You're done. You can now go to sleep.
Okay.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Oh, mate, this is a long time coming, but the timing's beautiful, as we know. Coming into the final run of preparation for the Dubbo Winter Whisky Festival. So, yes, it was talked about at the Distillers Conference too. So I'll talk about that shortly. Anyway, first things first, I have something very special. Very special.
Well, do we want to start with everyone else and then come back to you so you can talk about it a little bit more?
No, I'm going to, first of all, tease. I'm going to tease, and then we're going to.
Okay, go.
So, and on that note, I'm teasing.
Yeah.
I always do this.
Yeah, the
camera. Yeah, follow the light. I'm teasing. So what is this? It's rare. It's rare. Anyway, so Bondi, what have you got in your glass, mate? Tennille, you're working, so you can't drink. So
the Dubbo, mate, the Dubbo from last year.
Woo! The Dubbo. Look at that.
The special cask and the bourbon cask, and I'm drinking it out of a whiskey on the Murray glass.
Whoa! There we are. How cool is that?
Another festival, another wonderful craft Aussie Craft Spirits Festival coming up soon as well.
Absolutely. We're heading festival season.
I reckon the person that blended that must have done a really good job.
I've also got a little bit of Timboon.
Timboon. Awesome. All right. Well, so tell us about the Dubbo release last year. That sounds like an interesting whiskey, I believe.
Yeah, very, very interesting whiskey. Obviously, with my keen interest in learning all about Aussie craft distilling and the processes, you were kind enough to invite me down to your wonderful abode.
The shed.
And you, me, and Todd spent a cold winter's night down there, and we did some blending and some playing around. And I think it was. Sorry,
Todd.
Todd's on an old laptop with very.
Central.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
right.
Todd's going to be lagging all night. Just
and
FYI.
I think we did some. I think you were doing Smoke Juice number 2 that same night.
I think so too, from memory. Yeah,
which was a really cool thing to watch as well. But it was a special cask and one of your rare bourbon casks, or the American
Jack Daniels one.
Jack Daniels cask and
rare.
So Todd says that it was Yeast Central.
Yes, it was Yeast Central. It was a big night. It was a good night. But it was a great introduction into obviously your world and putting together something really cool for the festival last year.
It was a lot of fun. Well, let me talk about this, and then we'll dive in to Neil, and we'll talk about on-prem. We'll talk about what is going on-prem. How I'd like to cover off, the economic downturn, because it is a reality. It was very topical at the conference, but also you just got a really cool, exciting place there in Dubbo. So we need to talk about that. So first things first, people. This is a 20th year anniversary bottling celebration gin, and every Australian distiller at the conference got a bottle of this to take away. Now the idea of it is it's rare, right? And it's from it's a hidden gem, and it's just from the lake of gins that are out there on the market, right? But this is rare, and you should put it on the shelf, perhaps put it in your collection. We don't do that. We're going to drink it.
All right.
So we're cracking it now. I don't know what it tastes like. I got no idea. We weren't allowed to drink it there.
Oh, really?
So you pour away.
I'll pour away.
And
you can carry on yelling.
And I'll
This
keep yelling.
This could be the first drink.
This could be.
It's very aromatic.
It's
very aromatic.
Do you want to read what's on the bottle? Because I sure as hell can't.
No, you're blind at the best of times.
Yep.
So, all right, hold on. It is actually quite dark in my cave here. So I'll get my torch out. 20 years ago, the first group of Australian distillers banded together to form the Australian Distillers Association, giving a collective voice to their efforts to make world-class spirits in Australia. There were just 4 founding members on that landmark day in 2004. Today, there are over 500 members of Australian distillers, every one of whom has helped to make ours the most dynamic and exciting distilling scene on the planet. To celebrate our 20th anniversary, we invited every state to contribute botanicals to this one-off celebratory Australian Distillers Gin. Here's to Australia and all of us who distill here. Cheers. So
premature.
Yeah.
Round of applause. Round of applause.
And then I can tell you what's in it. So there's lemon scented gum from Victoria, wattle seed from the NT, Dorigo pepper leaf from New South Wales. Never heard of that one. That's a new one. Tasmanian pepperberry from Tasmania. Who'd have thought? Coastal daisy from South Australia. Baronia from WA. Finger lime from Queensland. Queensland even. And I haven't even had a fucking drink. Orange, not from Orange, from South Australia and Victoria. Oh, they had to combine. That's weird. And honey from the ACT.
Wow. It's very aromatic. It's very flavorsome. Go out and buy a bottle. You can't.
Rare, isn't it?
It's rare.
You can sell it online, Crafty.
We've now just got a little bottling machine.
Yeah,
So yeah, we little 50 ml bottlings, $400 a bottle.
Make a fortune.
Yeah. I reckon there's demand for it.
The gin nerds will love it.
Yeah,
There you go. That's quite nice.
It is.
It doesn't need.
it doesn't need tonic. No, definitely not.
Mm.
So Janelle, let's go back to the start of the establishment bar. Why did you do it?
It was a risk, obviously. It was something that we've never done before, completely considering I wasn't a huge drinker myself, but I just loved my community and talking about it and what we can show and having a little place for people to do that. So we kind of came back to our hometown, had young children and thought, been in the hospitality industry for years, and after being a stay-at-home mum, it's kind of hard to get back into the workforce and trying to find things that work around your family. So funnily enough, we opened a bar with 2 small children, which worked for us. So I'm the night owl and Rob's the morning person. So we kind of did a bit of a balancing act there and opened the establishment bar Dubbo in 2019, February, right before COVID. So we've lasted and we survived twice as well. And we're now in our 5th year.
Wow. I mean, that's impressive in its own right to have opened a bar just before COVID, survived multiple shutdowns. What was the shutdown situation like in Dubbo? I know here in the city, I mean,
It was brutal.
That's how
Brutal.
we met.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the same. Yeah.
We had 2 lots of 13 weeks. So
Shit.
26 weeks. We were closed for basically half a year across the 2 years.
Wow.
So we just hit our first birthday, had our first birthday celebration. Thought we'll go give ourselves a little break and go away on a cruise because then we won't have to do anything. And literally, we were the 2 cruises before the Ruby Princess. We arrived back, got sent straight back to. So our holiday was cut short. Straight at home on the farm, and we were told we probably would be shut down for a minimum 6 months. So we didn't know what we're going to do in the fact that this was a brand new business we just put our heart and soul into. And anyway, perseverance, determination, passion gets you through, and good old farmer's resilience, I think. I'm a farmer's daughter from regional New South Wales. So first of all, it was a risk in itself to kind of open a bar like ours in the middle of New South Wales, in a regional town, I guess. But then to have a pandemic thrown in on top of that was challenging, but we have survived. Probably a few more grey hairs, probably a little bit more crazier, but I guess that leads to the experience in the story, doesn't it?
The cool thing about your bar is it's a hole in the wall, right? As you know, of course you know.
I'm
sure they know.
They've probably been there once or twice.
And you just go through this door and it's into a little magical place. And it could be in New York, it could be in Sydney, it could be in Berlin, and it's in Dubbo.
It's in Dubbo.
So,
that's right.
how did it go down with the locals when you opened?
Sorry?
How did it go down with the locals when you opened? It must have been not a shock, but a very pleasant surprise.
Definitely a pleasant surprise. You definitely had to go in knowing your market as well. And I guess being Dubbo born and bred was an asset because you need to know your customers. You need to know what people want. We did a lot of research. It took us 6 years to open. We came home and the kids were small, and finding the right place was the main thing about it, because you just had to be right. You had to have the right feel for it. You had to walk in and be able to see the environment and go, yep, this is going to make it. I can make this one work. So we had a lot of, I guess we kissed a lot of frogs, knocked on a lot of doors. And if it wasn't right, there were certain things I'd compromise in and certain things I wouldn't. So we kind of went with the recapturing the spirit of the speakeasy. So really going on that experience and that journey. And the locals really, really loved it. It was very well received, but you did have to kind of go and showcase. We create, I guess, cocktails as our biggest market. So we're a small boutique bar in the heart of Dubbo, which is very much a lounge bar vibe, that jazz clubby vibe. But I guess people in country town are very habitual, and they are very, they can, I'm not going to, put them all us all in one basket, but we do have our little creature comforts, and we do have our little things that that we're used to. So it's like, how do I create something that people are going to want to do outside of your general advertising? So we create a mystery, and intrigue, as we all know, captures people's attention. And when you don't know what it's about and you keep hearing about it, you have to go and find it out. So yeah, we're recapturing the spirit of 1930s speakeasy bar. So it's hidden. No one knew what it was about. It was called The Establishment. So it had an air of sophistication, but they weren't exactly knowing what it was about. So you had to come and see.
Yeah, right.
Your unofficial brand ambassador and big supporter, friend of Aussie Craft Distiller Shooting the Shit, Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty. We heard about in Sydney, and we heard that Scotty went bush and loved going bush. And so, tell us about that, how that relationship, because Scotty he's an icon in Sydney, right?
And he's a very fun person to be around. So actually, knowing what we wanted to do was showcase in Dubbo as well a little bit of what you can find overseas, because me being a Dubbo girl, I don't get out much and I don't get the opportunity to travel. So we had a lot of distilleries from overseas, and then we went, our back wall is pretty much our house deposit. So that's what I keep saying to everyone. That's my house deposit on the back wall. So it was either buy a house or build a bar, and we did the bar first and built a house. But we also wanted to showcase what our region had. And right down the road from us is Mendoran Distillery called Blackgate. So we went out and introduced ourselves to Brian and Janice, and they are such a wealth of information, and they're such lovely, down-to-earth people, and it's just like you step into their home, you step into a friendship straight away. And they gave us a few names, and Scotty was one of them. So we did a little research tour of Sydney, learned how to make cocktails, just immersed ourselves in it, and then that's how we found Scotty at the Oak Barrel.
Yeah, did one of his whiskey tastings, and at the end of the session, I said to him, "Geez, mate, would you be interested in doing something like this out in the bush? We're going to open a bar, blah blah blah." And he tells the story quite often that he just thought we were another bunch of people coming up to him asking him to do something that we were never going to do, and then we opened the bar maybe 3 months later and contacted him. He's like, "Oh, you're actually serious? Okay, well, I've got family out there in Orange," and next thing you know, he's out spending nights and dancing to all sorts of things at the bar at all hours of the night.
He took a punt on us like we took a punt, and we can't keep him away. He loves who wouldn't love to come out and visit us out in the middle of New South Wales? And hence the reason where the love of the Whisky Festival was born off that was because it's just a way we can support all of our small little local distilleries around and bring the people from the city out on a little tour.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah.
So how do you go about tailoring your cocktails and your bar experience, knowing that you've got that country clientele and trying to bring the world to them and bring the craft world to them? And you said you weren't much of a drinker as well yourself. So how do you navigate that and bring it all together?
I enjoy a drink, but I'm not one to go out. Like, I guess the usual background behind country drinking is binge drinking. So, and I guess we wanted to showcase that there was more to it because there's only restaurants and there's pubs, and each of us have our own thing. But as I get a bit older, I want to do something a little bit different, and I want to go and hang out with my friends and enjoy a really lovely drink and just sit down and relax. So what we did with our to show that experience, it was a journey, showing people a journey and good old customer service. We greet them at the door. It's like coming and visiting your friends or coming and having a drink in your house, but you don't have to clean up after yourself. So, and how we utilize our product is putting them in cocktails because people are kind of a bit hesitant on obviously going and having a sharp whiskey straight up. They're not used to that. And you had to build your back bar around a little bit what they know. You've got to introduce them to the creature comforts that they already know. But then if this is what you like, then how about you try this because it's different. And it's it's similar, but different. And guess what? It's local. And guess what? It's just made down the road. So it's about your customer service and training this up to people, which is what Scott gave us. We have him out for tasting nights, which for our customers is awesome, but even better for our staff because they get to know and hear the whole experience and hear the whole journey because I can bang on for ages, but it's like your mum talking to you. You know what? You start to tune her out. So it's good to have a different voice. So, having those experiences, having them in a cocktail so they try it and you just go, oh, did you know this cocktail's got, Black Snake's mezcal, which is made in Narrabri, and it's an agave spirit. And they're just kind of like, what, really? Or you've got that Burrito vodka from Karoo, which is made in the Blue Mountains, and it's a chipotle vodka, and Rob made a jalapeno syrup to go with it, so you're getting a bit of spice with a bit of extra spice with a touch more spice on the side. So yeah, just kind of showing them that experience.
Oh, that's cool.
And have there been any sort of real surprises on what you've brought in thinking, oh, I'm not sure, but it's actually really been embraced by the country community?
Oh, everything's happened. And myself, I can speak from my experience too, because I didn't think I liked peated whiskey. And then I'd have a peated whiskey after doing these tastings with Scott. And I didn't think I liked whiskey. And actually, I do like whiskey and I like peated stuff. So It definitely takes you out of your comfort zone. And when you do things in a different environment and a different experience, it opens you up to a world of possibilities, which is right where we are now.
Yeah, right.
I got a question. So you've got a bit of a captive audience here, and you know, coming off the back of the conference, I was overwhelmed by the level of support that Shooting the Shit had. Right? It was phenomenal, and there was a lot of distilleries who are new to the game, and they said there's a lot of learning on Shooting the Shit, and I said it's good. So we've got a golden opportunity here. I'm Distiller A. My name is Distiller A, right? I've just started my distillery. I'm making a cracking gin, a cracking vodka.
Also, you think.
Also, I think. And I come to you as one of 700 distilleries in Australia. What resonates with you? What would you like to hear from craft distillers, and what do you like to see?
It's not what you want to hear. It's how you interact with people, I find, because it's a relationship. Because I will talk about your stuff come hell, like I'm a talker, as you can tell. But I'm very just passionate about, you find something and you hear about the story about it, and you just want to tell people the story. And and that's bartenders. I've found that community, even in the distillers, the community is just so inclusive. They're so respectful. They'll just take you all in. And we love that community. When from the very first time we sat down with Brian Janice, they ooze that storytelling, and that this is, you know, not in a gloating way. It's just that this is our story. Look at our shed. We put a 20 by 12 shed here, and we started doing some stuff, and now we're getting bigger and bigger, and this is what we're doing. You know, we're making peat outside, trying to do things like that. And that's sort of come into the bar. And I guess that's the kind of stories that we like to, you know, we'd want a craft distiller to come to us and tell us their story. And cultivate it though. Like you have to, it's a relationship that you have. And as I said, we've been really great friends with Brian and Janice since day dot. And it's that relationship that you have with someone, because your bartender will go further for you if you're giving them. I guess we've come from a background of corporate world, like Rob's been in the corporate, so you've come from such a city corporate environment, which sometimes it can be a bit competitive, and just coming back and just having that good old country customer service and those country values, that you're all on the same page, but you have the same passion, but in different areas. And that's what I loved about it. And I guess that's what, if you go into your bartender and you've got a passionate bartender, they will create, they love to create. That's what they're there for. It's like a chef. They're there to create something with your product. If you give them the more information you give them, then they'll do the rest for you. Like, I think you and I had a very similar conversation about that before, Crafty, about something we were talking about.
I think being passionate about their craft and having the story is what we're looking for, Crafty, if you had to nail it down to two sort of key elements.
But my main element
is the story. Yeah. One of the things that distillers fall into the trap, and I put myself in that category, is I know squat about cocktails. I'll make whiskey, I'll make gin, I'll make vodka, but I'm no expert on putting cocktails together. And some distillers feel that it's you have to have those skills to have the communication. And I think it's not. It's a case of you just have to be authentic and present your product well, and let bars let your product shine. Let them develop recipes. Let them showcase it. Would you agree on that, or elaborate on that?
Working with people that you resonate with. I think, we all don't get along with everyone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there'll be people, like your family members, that you probably don't get along with. You know what I mean? Like, we all have different cliques. But if you go into a bar and you're passionate about your thing, it's like managing your business. You're not going to know everything. You can know a little bit about everything. And this is what I said to my guys. You know a little bit about everything. Fake it till you make it, but just learn one thing about it and then grow from there. But if you've got your distiller comes in and they're passionate about their product, the bartender's going to do the rest for you, because they will feed off your passion.
Yeah, and I think don't be afraid to go and talk to the bars about making cocktails with your products so that you can use as well. Do you know what I mean? Like they will do the work for you, and help you design those cocktails to make your product shine as well.
Yeah. Well, we got a good example with Craftworks, as you know. We've distilled honey, and it's a great product, barrel aged honey and white spirit distilled honey, or distilled mead, I should say, and it's a fantastic flavor. But we haven't actually launched the product yet because we don't know how to pitch it, right? It's bartenders have tasted it and they go, this is really good because it's not gin, it's not vodka, it's not agave, it's its own flavor profile. And Tennille, as you know, you've tasted it and you've gone off and played around with it, and it's super cool.
She probably gave you 15 recipes, did she?
Rob came home with me and he goes, Crafty wants you to look at this. And I'm like, right, I'll sit down right now and look at it. And
you did.
And I did, and I gave you a full list of things that you did that you would be helpful. But I think as I was going back to, like a manager, and you don't know every aspect of your business, but work with people that actually do it well. And I think Richard Branson says something like that as well. You're not going to know everything, and you can't know everything. But trust your people and work with them. And that's, I think that for distillers, that will be a relationship. You know your product, you know what it tastes like, you know the background of it, and you can tell people how it was made and give them the whole journey of that. The next step's theirs. They will then take that and they will create something for it. And it's that relationship. But I find that face-to-face interaction, which is what we love about the festival. People love, in a world where we are so disconnected some ways, or we are doing everything via social media, or we're not even doing that phone call anymore. It's a text message here and there, or it's an email here and there, or you're sending product off to someone else. They haven't even seen your face. I think people are kind of craving that connection again. And if they see the distiller and they hear their story and they feel their passion, I think that's what works for me. Feeling that passion gives you goosebumps. You know what I mean? You hear their story, you hear what it's about. You're going to create something for them because you want to help them and you want to do this, but it's also feeding your passion as well, whereas you're having that creation and you want to create this drink. And I also said, when I said to you about sending me that stuff, keep it simple with a classic. Do a classic first, because the people that don't drink a cocktail will trust you if you do a good classic. Then they're willing to I guess people that come into the bar, if I make a good classic cocktail, they'll trust my other menu, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Get the basics right first before you start.
Don't complicate it.
Do that though.
It's a bit like building a distillery, isn't it, Todd? Get the basics right.
Have you got that? Have you got them right yet?
No.
We're all learning, but we're all learning. As we said, we kissed a lot of frogs to get where we are. But I think sometimes it's going simplistic because we're in a world of so much information and so much. If you come in and someone takes 10 minutes out of my time rather than going backwards and forwards with emails or getting product and trying this and that, if I meet that person, I try the product right there and then, righto, let's do it now, because we're all time poor, aren't we? We don't always have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you take it half an hour for that person, half an hour for another person. No, you're busy, I'm going to let you go. But keep in mind, they remember your face. They remember your story.
It's the relationship. It's the establishment of relationships. There we are. Establishment of relationships.
That's a nice tie-in.
That's a free one for you.
That's a nice.
Oh, beautiful.
At the establishment. Look at that.
Damn, he's good. Sometimes he does actually get the right. And
I'll press the right button one day.
And as people said to me at the conference, Crafty, keep it tight. Keep it tight. Don't ramble on. Keep it tight.
It's hard. I'm the same as you, Crafty. It's hard. Being passionate, it's hard.
Yes, it's very passionate.
And loud.
What?
I will add though, and I think maybe Tennille should add. Tennille has definitely looked at the niche of Dubbo and the Central West area and created not only the establishment bar with the cocktails and the relationships with the Aussie craft distillers. She's put on some pretty amazing events in the last 5 years that you wouldn't expect out in Central West New South Wales.
Yeah.
There's been burlesque shows, comedy clubs. We've got a what is it? A musical.
We've actually got a theatre show tomorrow called Love and Forgetting, which is the tales of a mixer from behind the bar, their story. So I guess what it is, though, is once again showcasing that just because we're in the country, we have all these things around us. You shouldn't have to travel to the city to enjoy it. Like, as you said, that beautiful whiskey or that beautiful gin that you have right here that's made on the botanicals that you're around has been made right here. People love that experience. And when you give that to them and they don't have to travel for it and it costs them less than having to go away for the weekend. As I said, once again, we're time poor, but they can feed off that enthusiasm too.
Well, you're doubling down on the experiential aspect of it, right? And people are craving experiences, right? So yeah, no, I think you've got I think you've got a really cool joint, and I think you guys are super cool. And here am I struggling trying to open my bottle.
You
here.
can't even open it.
What have you got there?
Well, I'll tell you as he's opened it. So this is Bingley rum, and this one is a Navy strength Bingley rum. So I was there today, had a private tour. I was with Dave from Austria Distillery, and one of his former employees is a distiller there. So we got a private tour. It was fantastic, and then we got to meet the head of the operations, Paul, and I just had to go down the rabbit hole of terroir and rum, and oh man, it was bing, 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 bing. It was a great conversation. So I bought a bottle of
Inner Circle. Wow.
Inner Circle, and this is their Navy rum, is it, from memory?
Let me read it for you. So it's the Navy strength. It is quite dark in here though. It's the Navy strength rum, barrel aged, overproof, 57.2%. Aged in a limited selection of small single barrels and finished with a dash of our finest aged rums. There you go.
Very cool.
And welcome to the Inner Circle.
Welcome to the Inner Circle. Now, for me, I was talking to Dave from Austria about this and the concept of what is craft, right?
Not sure whether you can make that out.
Same glass.
Whiskey on the Murray. So we were having a conversation about what is craft, and I've over the years really clarified what craft is. Craft distillery, and to me, it's a state of mind, and it's a state of action. So you can have a large distillery, right, which is a craft distillery, by the way that their ethos, the way that they approach the making the product, and by the way that they actually do make the product. And so Bingley is a classic case. It's a very small footprint distillery. It's a historical site, and they're very limited what they can do with part of the site. And it was fascinating. It was a big production operation, but it had craft dripping out of the wood, out of the red wood. I tell you. So
all over the floor. And
I know they had signs all over the place. Watch out for snakes.
Yeah, right.
And they weren't talking about investors. Anyway, I rabbit on, but no, seriously. So yeah, it was Bingley, awesome.
You've already got some in your
Oldest rum distillery in Australia, if I'm right.
Say again.
Oldest rum distillery in Australia.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. And what was really cool, we went into an area where the holding tanks were, and they had chalk marks from the floods and how far up the water came on the wooden vats. It was all chalked up there.
Should I?
Yeah, should all right.
I think they got a flood rum out of that, didn't they?
They did have a flood rum. Yep, I walked past a lot of casks of flood rum.
Listen to the bartender coming out with all the stories, eh?
Because their salesman comes in and sees me on a monthly basis. It's all about relationships, I say.
Give him a shout out. Who is he?
Joel. Joel is the sales rep for the New South Wales area. So he's going to be at our Dubbo Whisky Festival as well, showcasing some of the products too. So
hold on.
That's a nice segue.
What is this Dubbo Winter Whisky Festival that you're talking about.
And it doesn't say dwarf. I'm dyslexic and I sometimes see dwarf.
And it's not the world
World Wildlife Fund.
World Wildlife
Yeah.
Fund, yeah.
It's basically for the festival where we're supporting all of our distillers in Dubbo. So Rob's little brainchild.
Yeah, it came from Crafty, if I can use one of your expressions, one of your brain, like a brain fart.
Yeah, yeah.
Every day.
That's, yeah. I can only imagine, Luke.
Hour by hour.
A noisy brain fart.
That's why I named him the
Master of annoyance.
The Master of Annoyance.
That's my title, my job
See,
title.
Crafty, I'm exactly the same to Rob. Like, there always needs a yin to a yang.
Yeah. Yeah. He yangs.
And yangs and yangs and yangs.
But it really came out of pretty much what we do at the bar and the experiences that we offer and all the products that we offer. I said to Tennille one Friday night, wouldn't it be really cool if we could bring an experience to people in the Central West region, in the Dubbo region, obviously that's where we are, that we could get all these local guys, but then we could get anyone else from a further afield that wanted to travel and showcase their products and really,
highlighted in the Central West out here. There's more than just the regular spirits that they just see, because sometimes the speed rail of the pubs you've got don't really showcase like what we have around
the Aussie
here.
craft stuff. And then I went, let's do that in a really cool sort of festival vibe. And Tennille goes, well, let's do food trucks, let's do music. That's how we make the festival.
Once again, creating an experience.
The festival vibes. And I mean, third year this year. First year we started at the old Dubbo jail. Sold out the place because it was sort of limited capacity around that 380 mark.
We kept it intimate though, because it was straight after COVID as well, so everyone was still a bit jittery. We had a really bad shutdown here in New South Wales and in Dubbo ourselves, and we had a lot of outbreaks. So everyone was a bit jittery, and we went, look, it's not the festival you're thinking of, but let's kind of go small and we make an impact like we did with the bar. And it's kind of like that missing out, when people kind of I missed it, I was going to go, and and especially people in rural towns, they'll always buy tickets at the last minute. But you're sorry, you got to get in quick. This bottle's going, you got to get it quick because otherwise it's gone. So yeah. And
then last year we went to a bigger venue and doubled in size, so just under 1,000 people. And then this year we've sort of got a 3-year deal now with the Turf Club, which is it's a wet weather and a dry weather venue. So the capacity is just as much as it was last year. We're looking at potentially anywhere between 1,500, 2,000 people, given the ticket sales are going really well.
Fantastic.
Which you can obviously get from our website.
Conveniently on the screen, and also I've just posted it to the chats.
But we can create an intimate venue and keep it small, but it's really got a good ability to grow too. So once again, not losing that intimacy where people can still interact with the distillers, hear their story. And I say to people, it's kind of like where you get to meet the maker. You get to see where this product comes from. You get to feed from their passion. And people love it. And as I said, the community of distillers, the community of bartenders, the community that we have, you just want to be part of it. And people love it. And we have the same people every year buying it just because they want to be a part of this.
And you say, why winter? You go, well, because we put
whiskey in fire buckets.
Fire buckets and fire figures out. And, it's all about just getting out and, really enjoying the night out with all your mates and all your friends in a festival vibe. And obviously the kickoff of the whole festival is on the Friday night, which is the Distillers' Dinner.
Yes.
A little bit more intimate. It's used. We use our bar to sort of host that event, and it's really a kickoff event.
And it's even more intimate process because we showcase a few distillers and we pair their spirits with the menu. So we get a chef in Dubbo, which once again it's a collaboration of all of us. Our venue is the host. The distillers get to showcase their product in an intimate way where the customers get to really enjoy speaking one-on-one to those, which you don't get that as available at the festival because you're kind of getting through so many crowds. But also then the chefs get to showcase their craft in a different way than the pub menus or the restaurant menus they get. They get to be able to create a whole menu based around these spirits too.
And Scotty gets to host it and run amok.
So you've
Speaking
got
man, there's the man on the left, not the one on the right.
not the hairy one.
Not the heavy one.
And Crafty, you know very well, you were the main meal last year. Your
The
whiskey.
main meal, I got eaten up. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, and I actually, I came in on the Thursday. Remember, I raced. I came from Sydney. I raced, so that's 3 hours to Capity. I loaded up and raced to your joint to do a private event on the Thursday night. And I walked in, I was puffing, and I didn't know where the hell I was. And
you crushed it, mate. You did well.
But people stuck around and all they wanted was a piece of Crafty.
yeah, told you they wanted a piece of me.
And they did, true.
Many people want that in many different forms.
Yeah, well, this is true.
That is the skill you've got, isn't it? The skill you've got. They'll take you however they can get you.
I got broad shoulders. But yeah, and I did the distillers night. On the Friday, and it was there with trying to think now. It was Banks and Solanders. It was Archie Rose. It was.
I mean, you've got a who's who of the Australian distilling scene coming. Just to rattle off a few, obviously Ned, Carew, Archie Rose, Black Snake, Banks and Solander, Bathurst Grange, this little distillery called Craftworks,
The crowd goes wild.
Winding Road, Blackgate, Macquarie, 23rd Street, Manly, Parrot, Jans, Beanley, Jones and Smith, Canberra.
Oh, you got
Nine
Canberra,
Circles.
cool. So Tim's coming for that.
Yeah, Bunker. Bunker's
Yeah.
coming as well.
Yes, they're
Bunker.
massive.
Devil's Hollow Brewery, and Bunker. So you've got, how has that grown from previous years? That list of distillers that are coming, and are you having to hold people back?
Yeah, well, year one, we had 10 vendors in total, and that was 8 distillers and 2 sort of complementary food vendors, which was the beef jerky and one other. Last year, we're at 15 distillers. This year, we're at 20 distillers, and I'm sort of at the point where we've sort of cut it off because we want to grow the distillers at the same rate where we're growing the participation, to keep it that intimate and that sort of one-on-one experience still, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But each year we don't want to go huge because you just still building the plane as you're flying it kind of thing. So you still want to make sure that all of our distillers have a great time, all of our customers have a great time, our volunteers and staff are being able to do it without, I guess my big thing with when you're hosting an event, you want it to be able to be enjoyable all around so people go, I have to go back to it. So we kind of keep it very, we're tippy-toeing into it. So, but yeah, we've got some great distillers, some great lineups, and some good food.
And we're getting a lot of good inquiry around people wanting to come to the event. So the distillers that are coming are obviously getting some really good feedback and good, there's obviously sales and involvement and all that sort of stuff because they're talking to each other about it, which is really cool. And that's what it's about. It's about growing the industry.
But also shining a light on it too. So last year we actually had, so in like Dubbo, my following from the bar is predominantly local people, but we have a lot of some from Sydney and Melbourne, where last year from the Whisky Festival, we actually had a lot of our followers from Sydney, Melbourne, Newcastle, Canberra. So we actually have a lot of people from the cities coming out to the rural area for that experience, which is awesome because it's cheaper for us to do something out here than it is to go to the city. We're all close, so it's not a huge place for you guys to travel. But we even had people from the UK last year, which was awesome that Dubbo's kind of on the map. and our small little distilleries that don't always get the limelight. And you guys we're all hustling as much as we can. But if you're going to hustle hard, you might as well have a good time when you're doing it.
And all the tickets since Friday last week have all been from out of towners in the cities. So
there's a buzz. There's a buzz. I can tell you. There's a buzz. People know about it.
And I think,
yeah.
Sorry, what I was going to say. I think where I would like to go with this event is there's regional towns, Orange and Bathurst, that have sort of festivals that go for a week long.
Mm-hmm.
I'd eventually like, it's probably 4 or 5 years away, but to be able to have different events around the whole area of Dubbo, sort of in the lead up and post the festival.
Just sprinkle little things all around, and people can come from the city down through the Blue Mountains, and we want to get people to come through the Blue Mountains down to Bathurst, down to
things like your Fight Club, Crafty.
Now you're getting started.
I'm turking, okay? I'm turking.
I'm not looking.
I'm turking. Can they see me?
Has it stopped?
I don't know. Can you see it or not?
Yes,
Gobble,
I
gobble.
can see it.
Luke, you shouldn't redact that.
Look, if I could redact it from my eyes, I would, but I can't.
It's all right, I got pants on.
This time.
I am no Marty Pie. Leave me alone.
I look great with no.
Yeah, Fight Club. So,
Fight Club.
what
Yes.
what an interesting concept. Wow. And what's the story with Fight Club and Dubbo?
Well, we're still working through that, the little mechanics of how that's going to work. But we're hoping for a little challenger event,
Little exhibition match.
Exhibition match somewhere in the festival.
I'd love to do something in the bar the night before, maybe next year or something too, almost like a Fight Club, if that makes sense. Like bring it off as anyway. My brain's going, but
Awesome. Well, look, there's no such thing as a stupid idea. So we welcome them all, but we've actually got the inaugural fight, the inaugural bout 1,
Ding ding ding,
is coming up on the 25th of May. So it's not far off. You can get tickets for that. Obviously, we've got Crafty. That's the old artwork.
That's the old artwork.
That. Yeah, haven't done that
yet.
yet.
Just destroy the old design.
It's everywhere, and that's your fault. So we've got Crafty the Cruiser versus Mick the Master from Imbue Distillery, down in Victoria. Mick's flying up to have a crack at Crafty and see who can pick their spirits. Crafty's already failed.
You want to hear a funny story?
On home turf.
So I was in the local pub. For those that don't know, my distillery is at the back of a pub, country pub. And I was in the pub and I was going on about Fight Club. Going, Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club. And I'm sitting there and he pushes a whiskey across to me. Right? The glass just pushes it across the table. And he goes, so what is it? And I go, well, is it one of mine? He goes, yeah. I went, okay, cool. So I grab it. And now, to be fair, it had a lot of ice in. Okay. So that's my starting position. So I pick it up and I nose it. And I've had a release just recently called the Capity Batch Number 8. And I nose it and I go, oh, it's the 8. Oh, yeah. No, I'm getting it. Yeah, I know all the things that are going on 8. And then I taste it and I go, yep, it's an 8. It's an 8. Yep, cool, batch 8. And he looks me in the eye and he goes, yeah, dickhead. It's not. It's your I am. How the hell are you going to go into a Fight Club when you can't even judge your own product in your own location?
So does that mean that the Capity is just a watered down
I am?
Well, I don't think so. So I blame Todd because Todd was part of the co-creator of the Batch 8. What are you going to say about that, Todd? Not a lot.
No,
not a lot.
It's on mute. He'll respond in about 15 seconds when it comes through
on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll send a message, no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not amused.
So
I'm hoping to be at that first event, and not only obviously to see the Whisky Fight Club, but to see another really cool bar.
yeah,
obviously,
Willie the Boatman is a very cool little bar. Awesome little brewery. I was there on the weekend scoping the place out. Yeah. And damn it, I wasn't quick enough on the screenshot. That's right.
We've thrown him under the bus big time today.
Yeah, I was there on the weekend scoping it out. And we were just trying to figure out how we're going to lay out the ring, where we're going to put our two combatants in the middle of right amongst everyone.
The ring of pain.
The ring of pain, absolutely. It's not a chili competition though.
I challenge the name Crafty the Cruiser. He doesn't sound mean enough.
He came up with that.
I know.
He came up with that. I would have said
Crusty the Crown. I mean, Crusty.
Crusty
like in a tape.
Oh, we're going to have the whole gowns coming out in the red gown and the black gown, and it's. I've got a boxing bell on order from Amazon. It's about 2.5 weeks.
Yet?
No, it's 2.5 weeks. Some guy turned up at my home and said, I wasn't there, and said, I've got to pass it for Craig Field. And Andrea said, I'll take it. And he goes, no, he's got to sign for it. Like, well, he's not here. Well, I'll take it away then. And he did.
Right.
So my boxing bell may be on its way back to the US for all I know.
Oh, shit.
I like Todd's comment there, mate. It was Crafty the Chump.
Oh,
Chump.
It's Crafty the Cruiser, because Crafty's going to come in and he's going to cruise. This is going to be a cruise.
He's going to cruise into losing.
I'm
looking forward to the event. I'm looking forward to it.
It should be good. So, and on that note, so obviously we've got Fight 1 on the 25th of May at Willie the Boatman here in Sydney. I've posted the links up onto the chat with the stream. You can also jump onto our website shootingtheshit.com.au and you can get the tickets there. $65, which is I think pretty good value. You get 6. I was going to say 6, but that's only 4. Thank you. Yep, teamwork makes the dream work. So you get 6 cracking Australian whiskies from 2 great Australian distillers. And the idea is that it's a blind tasting. So you as a punter won't know what you're drinking each round, and neither will the distillers that are competing. They have to correctly pick whether it's theirs, first of all. That's going to be hard. And then they have to pick which release of theirs it is, which is going to be even harder. And it's all going to be completely blind. We will then announce at the end of it what each release was. You will be able to buy bottles and whatever of your favorites at the end of the night, and you also get to vote. So if you like it, if you don't like it, if you're somewhere in the middle, but everyone gets to cast their vote.
Be an emperor. Be an emperor for the night. It's highly engaged with the audience. They are not the audience. They are actually part of the whole event. Right, so we are going to have high participation.
Yeah.
Sledging is mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Sledging is mandatory,
and we're also going to live stream it as well.
Yeah.
So it will be another live stream. The event is actually already up. That you can follow on Facebook and YouTube. And if we get enough numbers, we'll also do home tasting kits for those that can't actually make it. So then you can actually play along at home. So once we get Fight 1 out of the way, will be very, very quickly followed up by our exhibition match, hopefully with you guys at the festival.
Yep.
Are we able to say who that might be, or should we?
Yeah. So
hold that.
So there's two fights. There's 2 fights.
2 fights.
2 fights. I'm the undercard. So Crafty the Cruiser comes out of retirement after getting slaughtered in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back. And I'm fighting. That one's to be advised, right? And it'll be announced fairly shortly. But the main event of the night.
I should have done artwork for it, but
we can work on it now.
We'll work on that now, yeah.
Is have a drum roll, please.
Oh.
Dave.
Drum roll.
I lost my moment. I had momentum. I was building. It's gone. It's gone.
Drum roll.
Dave the Decimator from Manly Spirits versus the Nemesis. Dan the Man from Archie Rose. So that the behemoths in Sydney,
North
Manly
versus
Spirits
South.
versus Archie Rose, will be duking it out in Whisky Fight Club.
That's going to
fun.
be huge.
Huge.
That's going to be huge.
I love Ian's comment here. It's could have made a whiskey flight club. Very good, clever.
Could have made Whiskey Flight Club, indeed.
It was called Whisky Flight Club, but I'm dyslexic, so it became Fight.
A good marketing ploy for your bars.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of
Whisky Flight Club. Yeah,
So-
roll with it. Absolutely roll
We'll
with it.
see whether people respond to the word fight or flight, and maybe we'll evolve it over time.
Oh, yeah, Flight Club, yeah. Now, it's a limited ticketed event, and it was going to be 50 in Sydney, but Pat from Willie the Boatman goes, Crafty, between your lot and my lot, social media, we'll pack it out. We'll pack it out. So it's 100. It's a ticketed event for 100 in the Cauldron of Pain.
So it's going to be big. There's going to be a bit of fun, some good whiskey, some great whiskey,
And there'll be cans of Coke.
and you'll be there.
Yeah. And there'll be cans of Coke. I'm just saying. It's fun for all.
Yeah.
However you drink your whiskey.
However you drink your whiskey.
That is it. It
But
really
keep your
does-
pants on. Is
that,
that in the small print?
Yeah.
it's not, but I'm going to be telling you to do that.
Owned
Keep
by
your
Scotty.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And you
and that's the other thing. So the Dubbo one, our MC for the night, to be confirmed, will be Scotty.
I mean, if you just say it is, he's going to have to do it then.
No, because he may actually be a fighter.
Oh shit!
He may not be a lover. He may be a fighter.
That'll work.
He
You
may
guys
have
got to head off.
I got to go to work. So
All right. Now, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Head
any more
to
questions
the
before I-
establishmentbardubbo.com.au.
Thank you.
Flash
Thank
that
you
up on the screen, and I'll whack the link up for people to, when you're in Dubbo, definitely drop in and say g'day and have a cocktail or four.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
See you today.
Cheers. Thanks, Janelle.
We got a lot of commentary going on here. There's a lot of Todd swearing.
It's a lot of Todd because he can't actually join in the
Oh.
conversation.
He's venting.
So yeah, that's going to be a bit of fun to add on to your excitement going on there with the festival.
Yep.
I'm only sad that I'm sadly not going to be there. I literally fly out to the UK a few days before, so I'll be in the UK, but I'll be there next.
year, mate.
I'll be there next year.
Next year.
But you're there at Fight 1.
I'm there at Fight 1. I have to be there at Fight 1 because someone needs to keep this shit show on the road.
Oh, yeah. We've got to learn how to run this shit show.
Crafty has the ideas, and then it's up to Todd and I to execute them.
The brain farts.
Yeah,
And Aussie Craft Distiller shooting the shit was a brain fart.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's no longer a brain fart, people. We now have a target of we want to be 1,000 views, or no, 1,000 subscribers
On
on
YouTube.
YouTube. If that happens, the magic happens.
So yeah, we definitely need to get people subscribing to our YouTube channel. That would be really, really handy.
Yep.
If you're not already, thank you to those who are. But yeah, the more the merrier. So the festival's on in what, mid
14th and 15th of June. So
14th, 15th of June. So yeah, 6 weeks. Not
6
long to
weeks.
go. And are tickets running out? Is there a
Tickets are-
scarcity that we need to be concerned about?
We've done a couple of first release. We did some VIP tickets. We've had to release a second wave of those, which are nearly sold out as well.
Congrats.
General admission will go up in price on the 1st of June. So people need to jump on now and get them. They're $22 at the moment. But there will be a price rise as we come towards the event. So jump on and
Sorry,
get them.
$22 only to get in.
Correct. 100%.
Wow.
It's
And
just one
then-
less trip to Macca's for the week.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
mate.
then the dinner. So the dinner, the distiller's dinner is
It's
sold out though. That's
Correct.
all sold out. And that was only 189. So wow,
Yeah.
you're cramming an awful lot in.
So the distillers dinner for the third year in a row sold out in the first week of releasing the tickets. So there's so much popularity for it.
Yeah, wow. Well, I'll be there. I'll definitely be there next year.
Yeah, and that's where I see that we could extend the event to have a couple of those dinners throughout the course of the week and in different formats and things. So
yep.
Yeah. A week, and you're right. You know, if you draw people in from Sydney, you know, they can come via Capity, via Craftworks. They can go via Bathurst Grange or do both. You know, flip out to Parrot, Orange, Jones and Smith out and Spring Hill. So you can have experiences on the way.
Experiences on the way home.
Climaxes at the week of the Dubbo Winter Whisky Festival Week. I love it, mate.
And it showcases Dubbo that it's more than just the jail and the zoo, you know. There's more grown-up things to do. Come to the bar, come to the festival. Lots of things to do in Dubbo that are grown-up.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it looks like an amazing event. I'm very sad that I won't be there, but definitely I will be there absolutely next year. And I want to get tickets to that dinner as well because that looks amazing.
You just want to hang at the bar as
well. I do. I just want to hang at the bar for a while and just prop the damn thing up.
Yeah. There's a lot of accommodation around the local area too. Yeah. I stayed in this historic old pub, cheap as, and it's just a wonderful country experience.
The Castle Ray, yeah.
Castle Ray, mate. I gotta book it. I don't want to miss out. I want my Castle Ray experience. And I'm bringing Andrea and bringing the Todd and Kathy. Not you. So I want to stay in the Castle Ray. Yeah.
Have you booked it already?
No. You think I'm not book tomorrow? Right. Okay, I'll do it. That's on my list of things to do in the morning. Now let's change tack. So you've got another side. You got a little sneaky secret, haven't you? So what do you do what do you do when you've got a bit of free time? What's your hobby, mate? What's your hobby? Which is not a hobby. Well,
no, it's. I guess it goes back to why we started the bar, and that was around. I became a really keen, I guess, hobbyist, or got an interest in distilling. I went down to Adelaide and did the fundamentals of spirit distilling down there at the Adelaide University.
That's hardcore course.
Yeah, and mate, and I'm working now with yourself, Crafty. And
don't choke.
We're doing a couple of little projects. The most exciting project for me is the rye whiskey, which I think is something exciting for you as well. That you're learning a different grain.
Yep.
Creating a whiskey that I can barrel and get here in Dubbo, and working towards setting up our own distillery. So, I work full time outside of all these other little projects, and something I'd like to transition into.
So you're not enough of a glutton for punishment, having a bar, a festival, a full-time job, and now
a little hobby. That's right. So I'm very appreciative of Crafty and Todd and their advice and their assistance so far. But and we've also worked with Grandad Jacks to do a couple of little gin releases earlier as well. So we've got a little range starting to form. I've got a Burnsy still, which I haven't got set up yet.
Nice. You're putting it on wheels?
No, it's not on wheels.
He's smart.
It's a nice 300 litre still that I got talking to Burnsy after last year's festival when we're sitting in the bar having an after party. I went down to Burnsy's and got a still that he had down there. So it's the next phase for me, and it's very exciting. And
you've been introduced to Voyager Craft Malt, and so you've
correct.
You got your malt now, so your rye.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
And we've done our first brew, and we've got it in the fermenter tank. This Friday, it'll come out and go into low wines.
Here's hoping.
So,
Here's hoping.
fingers crossed, everything's right.
Yeah.
All happening.
Yep. And also, so you got a brand, Macquarie Distilling Co. You've had gin,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have any whiskies coming out in the next short period of time, perhaps.
Yeah, so I did a bit of a collaboration and had a whiskey. I bought a barrel of new make and had it here in Dubbo for the last 3 years.
Right.
And I've just worked with Crafty again and the Todd, and we've blended a whiskey with some of the IM. Yeah.
Some of the Craftworks I am. Yep.
The Craftworks IM. So that'll be released at the festival this year. So
Wow.
there's about 60 litres there, I think. So we're just in the process of about to bottle it, which is exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no,
So yeah, while we've got that bottling, we've got obviously we're starting our own the rye whiskey. So a couple of years time, we'll have that one ready to release.
So that's also all New South Wales grown grain.
Yep.
And it's heritage rye too, isn't it?
It is heritage rye.
Yeah.
About a 75% mix to barley.
Yep.
With some rice mixed in there as well.
Yeah, we had to learn. So for those who know, there is a king of rye in Australia, and his name is Mr. Lee Atwood.
Yeah.
Backwoods Distillery. So I got on the phone to Lee and I said, mate, how the fuck do you make rye? How do you make rye? He told me how to make rye. So hopefully.
So now you've had a crack and you're hoping,
and
with every fibre of you being, that you did it right.
I'm going to dethrone him. I'm going to dethrone him.
We spent I reckon a good hour last week. Last time we were together, Crafty, and we blackboarded it, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, I think it's the best I've ever done.
We didn't whiteboard it. We blackboarded it. We
blackboarded
Right.
We put up all these targets and all what he recommended, and then we worked out our own focus, and bang. It was a 6 hour. It's going to be a 6 hour process, but we were still going at 1 a.m. So
After starting at
8
a.m.
a.m.
8 a.m.
Oh, okay. Cellar door was running. There was a few.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, bright shiny objects. I get distracted.
Yeah.
You're right. So.
Yeah. Every
Wonderful.
single time.
But it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm very grateful. And I'm really looking forward to obviously keep the learning going, and I'm really appreciative for it. So
the cool thing people should understand too is so Bonnie and I are mates now. We bonded over last year, and we're in the shed, and so we spent some quality time last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, and new ideas were born. So Bondi didn't have the idea, I didn't have the idea. It was a creative process between us, and I absolutely love that aspect of the craft spirits community. Is you just get together and it's bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, and then boom, something else is born.
And bouncing ideas off each other. And I mean, mate, you suggested taking home some spent grain and doing something with it. Well,
oh yeah, tell them about that.
Anzac cookies have been created.
Really?
And spent grain pizzas. Pizza
spent
bake.
Grain pizzas.
Spent grain.
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, you can do a lot with spent grain.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, that was another story for me when I got home to talk to the family about and the extended family about, and having these pizzas on the table and showing them and saying this is actually out of the whiskey that I'm creating at the moment. So that it goes back to the stories. So Tennille and I are now looking at how we do that in our bar, how we put those type of products into the bar, because again it becomes all sustainable as well.
Todd's just asked there, will there be spent grain pizzas at the the distiller's dinner?
No, but he just gave me a good idea. We could do Anzac Day cookies as some sort of a gift.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Bring me
Nice.
back some, please.
Yeah.
No, I'll eat them.
No, bring them back.
No, I'll eat them.
Please
I'll
bring
eat
them
them.
back.
No, they won't last. I'll eat them.
Look, I'll freeze some for you and get them to you, mate.
Legends.
It's something I've wanted to do for a long time is play around with spent grain and bread and pizza and Anzac biscuits particularly. And I tried to pull something together with rum for Anzac Day, but I left my box of spent grain at the distillery. I had a big box of spent grain. I was going to come home. I was going to get Australian rum, and I was going to make Anzac biscuits, rum Anzac biscuits. And then on Anzac Day, I was just going to hand them out at Selagore.
Right. Yeah. And didn't.
No, the box stayed in the shed. Now, speaking of Australian, just quickly, here is a awesome Australian whiskey from the team of Cape Byron. And Eddie Brook and his team, and what they're doing is sensational. And I'll tell you one thing that they've just released, which is we've got to get a bottle, is their history is macadamia nut farming.
Yep.
And they came up with a liqueur called, I think it's just called the Mac from memory.
Yeah, it's called the Mac. Yep.
Yeah, it's called the Mac. So
Mac.
it's a macadamia liqueur. Then they put the Mac into barrels, and they came out with barrel-aged Mac, which was sensational, absolutely sensational. Then they've taken those barrels, and you can see this coming, and they've finished some whiskey off in those barrels. So you've got the Mac whiskey, macadamia liqueur seasoned cask.
That is interesting.
That is insane.
Yeah. So the Mac liqueur cask whiskey.
Yeah, get it on there.
Which I'll see if I can quickly. It's not going to do it for me. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's super interesting.
Eddie, we want a bottle, mate. We want a bottle. We are prepared to pay.
If we're prepared to pay, then we go on the website and we bloody order it.
Is it
like a regular people?
Is it available now? Is it?
It is available. You can actually buy it. It's $149.99. $149.99.
Oh, that's ridiculously good value for something rare. Rare. It's so rare. Rare.
Don't poke the bear.
Rare. Don't poke the bear.
There you go. So that's the.
Do you remember doing a tasting with Cape Byron online about 12 months ago?
It's probably 12 months ago. Yeah. The Vonya cask.
That's right.
We did have them on the podcast in November last year, episode 70.
That was a great one.
That was a good one. So you can go back and listen to that as well.
Yeah.
We've got the rain starting here.
Yep.
So my little shithole shed is going to get very fucking loud very soon, because the roof is only here, literally there. You can see it, and it's not terribly well insulated, to the point of not, and it's a tin roof.
It's like my shed.
Yeah,
you can't have a conversation.
However, your shed's slightly higher.
It's still bloody noisy.
Bloody noisy, absolutely. So we've got 6 weeks until the Dubbo Winter Whiskey Festival.
We're not Kiwis.
Channeling in a Kiwi there. In the festival. Everyone should go and get their tickets from dwwf.com.au.
And you put a link in the.
I put a link in the comments.
Yep.
So everyone can go in there and get them. dwwf.com.au.
And if people can't make it this year, right, that's fine. But we're always the weekend after the long weekend. So they could look at next year, and it's the weekend after the long weekend. I think it's the 15th and 16th.
Something like that.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Well, next year you'll be a week long anyway. So
that's right, mate. It's the 13th and 14th next year as a starter. If they can't make it this year, put it in your diary for next year.
That is a damn good idea. I will do that tonight.
Yeah. And if you can't make it, and you're out that way,
Yeah.
go
Pop
and
into the bar.
pop into the bar, and then pop into the local distillery in Mandurin.
Yeah.
Brian and Janice.
I don't have that. Oh, fuck, I don't have that thing.
That's all right. We
You
can
throw
ad
me
lib
under
it
the bus.
from Blackgate Distillery in Mandurin, which is what, about 45 minutes from
45
Dubbo?
minutes down the road. That's right. So
45 minutes down the road.
blackgate.com.au.
Yep.
Beautiful tin shed down the road. 45 minutes. Beautiful drive. You go down there in the day. And if not, they could even potentially be at the markets in Dubbo on one weekend when you travel out here.
Well, there we are.
There you go.
There we
I'm posting it up for those. It is blackgatedistillery.com.au.
Yep.
Yep, there it is. No,
And we host.
hold on.
we
No,
host
.com,
everyone-
blackgatedistillery.com. Getting that wrong entirely. That's what happens when I try to rush things.
So just on that, about 5 years ago, I think it was, there was a group of distillers and brewers, and we were trying to put together a trail, and we would call ourselves the Central West Producers. And it was basically Lithgow, out to Mudgee, out to Mandurin, out to Dubbo, out to Orange, out to Bathurst, back to Lithgow.
Yeah.
And we had council support across all regions, and they were prepared to help us with resources and allocation. And we just couldn't get our shit together, and we needed someone to take the lead. And
We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done, Crafty.
we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done, and it's going to possibly be one man in the room, and it's not me. It's not me. So yeah, no, seriously, there is for anyone who's in Sydney and hasn't been out the Central West Way, there is so much going on out way in spirits, in beverage in general, in food, in wine. It's
In
just
bar- in
bars.
breweries.
Yeah, it's just stunning. So conceptually, there is a ring you can do, and you come out for a couple of days and have some fun.
Our bar, we like to also host everyone that supports us at the festival. All the distillers, we buy and stock their products in the bar. So even if you don't make it there for the festival weekend, you can come into the establishment bar and we can do you up a whiskey flight or a gin flight or whatever it is that you're accustomed to. And I guess that's the other little message. It's not just whiskey. We call it the Dubbo Winter Whiskey Festival, but it's for all craft spirits, vodkas, rums,
Agaves.
Liqueur, agaves, yeah, very special agave.
That's right. So I think what's Ned's new agave, the Active Treason?
Yeah, which goes down well with the rednecks in America.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
that may or may not be here, but I mean, then you go to Rosemary and Stevens Black Snake. And their ASP, it's a very unique product and something done just in Narrabri, which is I drove through today on the way back from Queensland. So
And just on Black Snake, I love fucking with vegans with the Pachuga.
Explain the Pachuga, the Australian Pachuga.
So the Pachuga is made with kangaroo. A traditional Pachuga will use chicken hung in the still, and the fats and juices will drip down and redistill, and creates a real creamy mouthfeel to a Pachuga. But Stephen and Rosemary have put an Australian twist on it using kangaroo. I call it the Pachugaroo, and I take great pleasure, and I probably shouldn't, in handing a glass of that to a vegan and say, "What do you reckon of that?"
Yeah.
And then they'll say, "Oh, wow, that's really amazing." Like,
But I mean, you come to the festival and you talk to Stephen and Rosemary about their story. I mean, that is hard work what they do.
that is hard, back-breaking work.
Yeah, that is hard, and you got to dodge the snakes.
And you got to dodge the snakes while trekking out. First of all, into the paddocks to find the fucking things, then hack them up, cart them back, cut them up, cook them up
Cook the fuckers.
before you even get to the point
And at that point, you don't even know if you got anything.
of cooking them and then distilling them after a ferment, and it's just they're mental.
They're mental, but also you rum producers, you know, bit of molasses, bit of water, and you have a bitch how hard that is.
No,
And, you know, you call into their distillery out of there at Narrabri. They just welcome you into their distillery like it's their house, and they actually invited you into their house to show you some other things. I mean, they're just amazing people, and the whole industry is like that. That's why we got this bar started. That's why we built the festival. You know,
as an aside, it's a really pretty website too, if I do say so myself.
And their new design is amazing on their bottles.
Oh, the design is fantastic.
They're pieces of art.
Yeah.
They really are.
And I may have built that website.
You just may have.
Yeah, I did build that website. I'm quite pleased with it.
And you've built a few other websites, haven't you?
I've built a couple of others.
Couple of distillers' websites. And,
yeah, a couple of us. Yeah,
just a few.
Yeah.
Shooting the shit. You would have done shooting the shit one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I did this one.
Does it need any maintenance?
It's
getting a bit tired. Needs a refresh.
I only just rebuilt the fucking thing.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Riverborn,
yeah.
So if you need a website, feel free to hit me up. Shameless plug.
Oh, speaking of books.
Speaking of books.
Speaking of books.
Shit.
Where is it? You got to have one here.
Yeah, I'm trapped. Hold on, here we go.
All right. Speaking of books, people.
Yeah. So you can. Let me just.
Well, can you, after you've done the book plug, can you give us a close up of that nice shelf unit behind you?
My bar.
Yeah.
So we've got. I'll turn the light on. We've got the book that you can buy at shootingtheshit.com.au. There's plenty left.
There's plenty left.
So definitely jump on there. It is a cracking read. It's a really beautiful, awesome book. And yeah, do Ed a favor from OCD, because he's been graciously storing them for us.
We need to save an Ed. Ed needs space.
Yeah, we need to save his sanity. But yeah, all right.
This is a cry. This is a cry for help from Ed. Get the pallet of books out, will you?
So it's a bit more difficult to see at night. But yeah, so that didn't help at all. I've got a few things here. The Tria Prima, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous bottle.
Might help if I keep going up.
One of the most beautiful labels in Australian spirits, I think.
And one of the most beautiful people in this.
One of the most beautiful people as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Shandy from Tria Prima, one-man operation, making stunning whiskies.
Yeah. I've got other things like one of my. It's no secret that I'm a bit of a fan of King Lake.
Yeah.
This one is actually the Single Malt Whiskey Club release that they did with them, which is a Chardonnay cask of the O'Grady's Stand, which is really quite yummy.
Look, how do we get them to the 2025 festival, mate?
Probably ask them.
Yeah, that would be a good start. Oh shit! Nearly lost the book. This is one of the
black snake.
One of the black snakes.
Love it. I met these blokes, and we'll get them on the podcast. Burley.
Oh, that's a nice bottle.
Look at it. So apparently they have an actual bottle designer.
Wow.
That they engage. Burley.
Oh, Burley Heads, is it?
Yeah, they're up in Burley Heads in Queensland. Yeah, and they've got. Yeah, I met them at the Easter show. I was working, helping out Ben Osborne from Unicorn Spirits, selling all the shiny stuff.
There's OCD, Autocraft Distilling in Sydney, making some exceptional whiskey. And here's a little one which is getting a bit of a mention. It was on the bar at the Australian Distillers Conference. They have a bar and everyone brings bottles. It's a pretty crowded bar.
I bet.
It's rather popular. Rather popular, if I say so myself.
Another cracking Australian whiskey from the Grumpy Old Man on the Hill.
The original Grumpy Old Man.
Riverborn. Big news today, of course, with Never Never becoming part of the Asahi family.
Yes.
So yeah, I've got a few.
Wow.
I've got a few bottles here.
They're not all whiskey. So this is 5 Nines from South Australia. Dave Pearce. Again, a lovely person, known him many years. Great whiskey. And this one. So this was a...
Oh, yeah, I've still got that.
Yeah, this was...
I didn't even go.
This is rare. This is rare. This is very rare. So this was a blended whiskey put together, collaborative spirits, and I can't remember how many distilleries. I think it was like 25. That's the figure that
probably says it on the bottle.
Yeah, well, you can read it. And I am part of history. Part of history. I'm in that.
Was that celebrating the 19th year?
I'm trying to remember what the hell it was celebrating now. It was something with Bill Lark, I think, from memory.
Celebrating 30 years of Australian whiskey.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the pioneering spirit of Bill and Lynn Lark. Yeah, so it was about 30 years of whiskey.
Yeah,
Australian whiskey.
It was awesome. And here's another great one and a local one.
Oh, Jones and Smith.
Jones and Smith in Spring Hill. They've got their own. They call it a tavern and cellar door in Lucknow. It's the old Lucknow
That looked
pub.
really cool when you were there.
It was a really cool place.
Yeah.
They're making exceptionally good whiskey. So Tony will be there.
And one that I do just have to point out because it blows people's minds when they see it.
Finger lime.
Finger lime.
Jingle bells.
So yeah, the Jingle Bells hibiscus whiskey, wild hibiscus distilling co. The finger lime gin. Fascinating. He still won't tell us how he does it. It's a little bit of magic there. But yeah, so I've got a bit of a collection that has developed.
Most have been purchased, but after saying that, we actually do now. We request when someone comes on, can you send us a 50 ml pour so we can drink on the show? We now get bottles.
Yeah,
bottles,
which is a bit nuts.
Here's another one. This is Corowa.
Selfless plug for Corowa then, because the week after our festival is the Whisky on the Murray.
Yeah.
Which is another great festival.
And yeah, when I attended that one, when did we go to that? Last year, year before.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Last year,
had a great last year. Yeah, I had a great time.
Here's one that we should plug. It's an important one. And so we had an episode scheduled. Can you do it for me? Because I can't see. We had an episode scheduled to talk to the great Dave Patel from Starwood, and the bugger didn't turn up.
He was international.
It was international. But so Dave and I were talking at the conference, and he's dead keen. He's back in Australia now.
Oh, nice.
He's back in Australia. He's dead keen to get on. And
well, we'll have our people talk to his people.
We'll have our people. Todd. We'll have our people, which is Todd. Todd's title is the...
he's the master of the calendar.
Master of the calendar.
Man in the hat.
Man in the hat, master of the calendar.
And on that note, we should
wrap it up.
We should wrap it up for the evening. So go and get your tickets for...
Luke, can I just have a selfless plug for some of the really keen supporters of the festival?
Absolutely.
Go, mate.
Go for it.
I just wanted to thank, obviously, Dubbo Regional Council, who's given us a small grant, which is always helpful to run these type of events. We've had the Landscape Centre in Dubbo come on board as the major sponsor, which is fantastic. We've got Triple M, Fever Tree, and we've got a company by the name of APMG, which is our media sponsor, and Dubbo Photo News. And obviously the establishment bar is a supporter of the festival, but without those type of people involved in these regional festivals, it's just it's just very difficult to do. And I'm very grateful for the Turf Club and their 3-year involvement with us for the next, obviously, 3 years. to, help put these regional events on and showcase the wonderful industry that we're all a part of.
I'm going to do a plug too. I think, mate, you should pat yourself on the back. You and Tennille. I mean, this thing is just gone from what? This is the third year. This one, the growth and the level of professionalism, right, and the level of fun that you're bringing, right. Well done, mate. Seriously, well done.
Thank you. And it's all about fun and showcasing what I said, what a wonderful industry that we're all a part of, and how lucky we are to be part of it. And I mean, that last year, Crafty, that little after party that we went back to the bar, and everyone was in the room with a bottle and just having, good chats about the industry and the event and everything. It was really cool.
It was very cool. I was very privileged to be part of it, and had a lot of great conversations. And when distillers get together and just cut loose, it's a special vibe.
Yeah. So look, like you said, Luke, tickets available on our website. Please come along. If you can't come along this year, make it on your calendar next year. It's about fun. It's about, festival and meeting the makers. It's a bit of fun in Dubbo.
Absolutely. Get around it, get into it. Please also jump onto our website to buy tickets for the Fight Club. shootandshit.com.au, bout one on May 25th,
Ding ding,
which is just around the corner.
Gotta get my bell.
Please hang around for our sponsors that we couldn't do this without as well. We've got the Australian Gin Appreciation Society, Saver Glass, Voyager Craft Malt, Mogwai Yeasts, Wine Oak Cooperage, of course, these legends, the Dubbo Winter Whisky Festival, and Long Rays, which, God, I love that stuff. That dark soda. Can't beat it.
Yeah.
I just like drinking it on its own.
Yeah.
So please hang around, everyone, for the sponsor at the end. And we will be back in 2 weeks' time on the, what's the date? The 16th. The 16th of May. We've actually got 9 circles. So the event is already up on Facebook. So hit the remind button. YouTube. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe on YouTube.
Please
get our numbers up, and maybe they'll start paying us. That'd be nice. 9 circles in 2 weeks' time on May 16. Then May 25, we've got bout one of the Fight Club Imbue versus Craftworks.
Ding ding.
And then in June, we've got the Dubbo Winter Whisky Festival with an exhibition match of Archie Rowe and Manly Spirits. Fuck, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's collectible, that bottle. Show me that bottle again, Bondi. That is a collectible bottle. That's right.
There you go.
I think there's only about a dozen left, Crafty.
Oh, wow. We've got to get them sold.
Or keep them as collector's items.
Are they available at the festival?
Yeah.
Get your tickets. Get your tickets quick. All right. Thank you. Cheers. Hang around, Bondi. Wait for the credits to end. And we will catch us all in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Bye.